Well, there has been a long hiatus from my end because I had been busy with some administrative responsibilities. That's why I could not upload the lectures regularly. Anyway, I will still continue with Street Condemned Desire, and since I have already talked about the story, I have talked about the background studies, I have also discussed about different subjective issues, textual issues as well. So I will talk about now. I will go beyond the text to discuss different themes that we find in the text. The issue that I will raise today is connected with a symbol of the game of card in the play. As you can remember, when Tennessee Williams he was thinking about or writing this play initially, he gave it the title Poker Night. Poker Night, poker suggests a card game or a game of card. And in the play also, we find that at different times, not less than four times, the male characters, especially Mitch, Stanley, Mitch, Pablo, uh, they are engaged in game of cards. So game of card is devised as a device itself, as a device that runs along and moves forward the major thematic issue of the play, A Street Condemned Desire. When you read the play, A Street Condemned Desire, you will see that the entire play is constructed in such a way as if this is itself a game of card. And in this game of card, the two major opponents are Blanche and Stanley. There are also two other characters who are also participating in the game, namely Stella and Mitch. Initially, we see that in this game of card, Blanche was playing with exquisite adroitness. She was playing extremely well with her own cards, and with her moves, she was trying to take both Stella and Mitch, or draw Stella and Mitch toward her own, that means against Stanley. Initially, we also see that Stanley was proving to be a weaker opponent compared to the strength of Blanche's moves, but gradually we find that Stanley was basically preparing his moves and arranging, shuffling his cards to play against Blanche. So, if you look at the particular incident of the first poker night in the play, when Blanche and Stanley they were Blanche and Stella they came from their outing back home, and Blanche tuned on the radio. Stanley gets severely angry, and in his fit of anger he throws away the radio outside the window, followed by a violence where Stanley beats Stella. This was a wrong move by Stanley in terms of the play as a game of card. After this, Blanche plays her card to draw the support of Stella in her favor and against Stanley. She tries to convince Stella that it's not an atmosphere where they can live, and especially with this British and apish sort of man like Stanley. So she plans to run away from this place with Stella. But the plan was not, of course, very successful. That means, of course, Stella was not playing her cards in such a way which will facilitate the winning moves of Blanche. So gradually, Blanche, who was trying to play with tricks, gets to be, back-footed. From scene 3 onward, you will see that Stella, Stanley begins to play his shuffled cards one after another. What I mean to say and suggest is that Stanley gets informations, personal informations about Blanche's past, about Belle Reve, about Blanche's ignominious promiscuity with the young soldiers in the nearby barrack of lying near to Belle Reve, and her past related to her expulsion from the school where she was engaged as a teacher. So these are the cards that Stanley plays one after another. One of the very winning move that Stanley plays was to inform Mitch everything about her past, everything about Blanche's past. And then we see that the game of card which consisted of the four main players. In the birthday party, Mitch was absent. There were only 3 chairs occupied and 1 chair lying vacant. So from here we get the impression that now onward Blanche is going to be the loser and Stanley to be the winner. Finally, in scene 10, Blanche is raped by Stanley. And how would you narrate this in terms of a game of card? the play being a game of card. This should be narrated in this way, that it was Stanley's final card, the trump card rather, to play over all the cards of Blanche, and thereafter everything thereafter Stanley is the winner, and everything happens as he actually wants. And the last thing that happens, of course, is that Blanche is taken to the mental asylum. So this is one symbolic resonance that I have highlighted. There are many others which I will come up with in the subsequent classes.